some digging. I studied, I read, I did some research to find out exactly what happened, whether this guy you see on the screen was assassinated, was killed by Hezbollah drone. And this is what I want to share with you in this video to find out what exactly happened. Now, for you to understand this whole thing, you have to understand what the day was like, how IDF forces came under attack from the very beginning of the day on Sunday. At around 1:45 a.m., Hezbollah, they have launched attack on IDF bases and forces. At 3:15 a.m. in the morning, they were able to inflict maximum casualties. In one report coming from the Lebanese Al-Mayadin, it basically said that those attacks in the early morning of Sunday killed at least 20 IDF soldiers. And then the attack escalated throughout the day, killing more and injuring more and more IDF soldiers. And these are all happening in retaliation of IDF's action in Lebanon. In other words, these attacks also took place in Lebanon, where IDF forces are stationed, where IDF forces are trying to have a permanent base, well, at least until this war is over. Now, I want to show you this article so that you have a better idea as to what has happened. In the early hours of Sunday, the Lebanese movement Hezbollah launched a series of military operations, against Israeli occupation forces stationed in southern Lebanon. So again, these attacks are happening in Lebanon. But what happened to this guy that I just mentioned, this Herzi Halevi? Is he alive? Is he dead? What is happening with him? That's something we'll be talking in a second. But I have to tell you a little bit the background of the whole situation, how it unfolded. So according to Al-Mayadin correspondent in southern Lebanon, more than 20 Israeli soldiers were either killed or wounded in ambushes, with the Israeli army being unable to retrieve the bodies amid intense clashes. The first attack took place at 1:45 a.m. when Islamic resistance fighters targeted Israeli forces positioned in Al-Manara settlement with a barrage of rockets. This marked the beginning of a coordinated and relentless series of strikes against Israeli targets. I'll not go with the timeline of it. As you can see on the screen here, they actually have detailed exactly how the attack took place again early Sunday morning. But it did mention that several Israeli army, IDF occupation, the belligerent forces were targeted throughout the day up until what happened to Herzi Halevi. We'll talk about that. So if you go to X, you will see it's being flooded with so many people commenting on his death, that the chief of IDF, chief of staff, was eliminated. And if you see here, one person, Dili Hussein, he's actually a journalist from 5 Pillars. Hezbollah targeted an Israeli military base in a drone attack, resulting in 67 IDF casualties. Now, another report suggests it was not 67 casualties, it was actually 70 total casualties. So this attack came in the evening of Sunday. What I mentioned to you just now was what happened early in the morning, where Hezbollah fighters and Islamic resistance forces, they were able to kill 20 or injure 20 soldiers. Now, later in the day, Sunday evening, this Golani Height Brigade was targeted, and people are claiming that he was in the building. Okay, I'm talking about the Herzi Halevi. Also confirmed reports of the death of Herzi Halevi, IDF chief of staff. And then if you go to more Twitters or X, you read more. Medical evacuation helicopters are arriving at Rambam Hospital in Haifa. Israeli media reported 3 IDF soldiers dead and over 40 injured. Unconfirmed reports suggest IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi was at the base. Then you have another post coming from another person. Hezbollah drone attack targets Israeli Chief of Staff. Hezbollah claims responsibility for a drone strike. Initial reports suggest that Israeli Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi eliminated, while it's not yet confirmed by the IDF. And then you have this hall room or dining hall where the attack took place. Scenes from the dining hall of the occupation soldiers inside the camp in Wadi Ara. In other words, what we are seeing on X and social media is that it is being flooded with this news that Herzi Halevi was killed by this drone attack that took place again Sunday evening. And I will give you more details as to why we are seeing this, because Jerusalem Post, now the question is, was he killed? Was he eliminated? Jerusalem Post, they have published an article where they talk about this as a rumor. So if you take a look at this one coming on Jerusalem Post, they said this is just a rumor that IDF Chief Halevi's death in Hezbollah attack flood social media. What I find interesting about this particular article from Jerusalem Post is that even though they call it a rumor, okay, rumor, quote unquote, but they did not confirm anything. Means they did not say, oh no, he's doing okay, or that, yeah, something happened to him, but he's not dead. He's injured, he's not dead. Because if you take a look at this article here, you can see they have talked about only the rumor. They have addressed the rumor on social media. So rumors of the death of the circulated widely throughout social media, and then fake account, and this happened, we are going to annihilate, Lebanon and all those things, initial report. And then they have actually showed some of the Twitter account or X account that are actually verified, where they said, so for example, Jackson Hinkle, his account is verified and he has millions of followers, and he said the same thing, that he was eliminated. Unconfirmed reports that Hezbollah assassinated Israeli Army Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi using advanced fiber optic drones. He even mentioned what kind of drone was used. And then you also have another Twitter account or X account where they have millions of followers saying the same thing, that it has been confirmed that yes, this guy is dead. So when Jerusalem Post reported on this, they did not again confirm nothing. They did not say, no, he is alive. They just addressed the rumor. So it brings or gives more reason for people to suspect about his whereabouts, whether he's alive or dead. Now, take a look at what Times of Israel is saying. 4 soldiers killed, 7 seriously hurt in Hezbollah drone strike on military base. And if you read again the Times of Israel report, there is no mentioning of Herzi Halevi, if he's alive or dead. They did not address the rumor on social media. But then what they did say, though, what Times of Israel say, and this is why things get very, very interesting, is that IDF forces, they are investigating the whole situation. Means they did not conclude nothing. Whether he's alive, who got killed. Now 4 soldiers were killed. Some other reports said it is more than 4 soldiers, maybe at least 10 or dozens of them. In fact, there is a report that I saw in the beginning when I was doing my research on this, that's claimed dozens of soldiers were killed in the Sunday evening attack, not the Sunday morning attack where 20 soldiers were killed, but the Sunday evening attack where Herzi Halevi was targeted, according to some sources. So really nothing coming on the news confirming what is happening. So this is why people are becoming very, very suspicious whether he's alive or not. Now, what makes things even more interesting is this report. So this came on the One India media. I don't trust this source, but again, they have a lot of followers on YouTube. They have also claimed the same thing. Israeli army chief killed in Hezbollah's drone attack, resulting in 70 IDF casualties. So some newspapers are saying, oh, this is just a rumor, especially the one coming from Israel itself. Other newspapers or media outlets, they're claiming that, yeah, it has been confirmed that Hezbollah targeted Herzi Halevi and he's dead. And he died along with other soldiers. In a recent escalation, this is what they said, One India, this is what they have reported. claiming that he was assassinated. They said Hezbollah launched a suicide drone attack on an Israeli military base. This base, home to the Golani Brigade, is located in southern Haifa near Binyamina. The attack occurred during meal hours and targeted a dining hall, the hall I just showed you guys. As a result, 70 Israeli soldiers were injured, with some in critical condition. Hezbollah claimed responsibility for the attack. They stated it was a response to Israeli airstrikes on Beirut and to support Palestinians in Gaza. Israeli forces managed to shoot down 2 of the 3 drones. However, the third drone hit its target, causing significant casualties. 3 drones were launched, and I have also mentioned 2 drones that was launched yesterday at Herzi Halevi. If you remember that report that I mentioned, Herzi Halevi was attacked with 2 drones. One was intercepted. The other drone flew about 100 kilometers, could not be detected by IDF. It hit the target, the building. It says this is a retirement home building. In other words, Iron Dome cannot anymore detect these drones coming from Lebanon that are being fired by Hezbollah. After the attack on Herzi Halevi yesterday, today we are seeing these drones are getting back into action again, and now targeting this dining hall in the Golani Heights Brigade basement, or the base. And now reports are claiming that it did not only hit the building and kill 4 soldiers, but also it killed that Herzi Halevi, the IDF chief of staff. He was the main target by Hezbollah in this instance. What we understand from these guys is very, very simple. Hezbollah is becoming ever more efficient with their drones, and they are testing and trying with different weapons. And looks like they are finding a lot of success with the drones and also with ballistic missiles. So the rockets, and I have said this many times, the rockets and those missiles and those other objects, the projectiles, when we hear them are being fired or are being those missiles or those projectiles targeted IDF base and this and that, we have to automatically assume that these projectiles or missiles or drones from Hezbollah, those small UAV drones, were launched in order to keep IDF busy with something else, so that they could then launch deadly drones or missiles targeting a base of IDF where they are getting caught off guard. You see my point? So if you hear that Hezbollah or Hamas, they have launched drones, most of the or launched missiles or rockets, most of the times it is just to keep them busy and keep the Iron Dome busy, only to then back it up with something substantial, something that will really hit the target. So they don't want to use those expensive explosives, because the one that hit this dining hall had 36 or 40 kilograms of explosives. So these machines are very, very expensive for Hezbollah, and they don't want to launch it only to be intercepted by Iron Dome. So they wait until the system is jammed, and then they launch the real deal. This is why we're also seeing now US is going to be installing third missile defense system for Israel. Their personnel and the US military, they are now in Israel. Yes, they are in Israel right now, helping the Israeli forces, the occupying forces, to install that third missile system, defense system. Obviously, that is because the Iron Dome is not working the way they thought it would, and we're going to be seeing more US's involvement, obviously, when Iran will attack Israel, if Israel attacks or retaliates against Iran. So there will be more US presence and involvement. This is just the beginning of it, because US can see the end of Israel. They can see the end of Israel. Some comments here. Thank you guys for your comments. If you have any more, consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.